Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good evening. I have some revision questions for you to practice with. These are very useful questions, so let's start answering them one by one. Okay, here we have an example. Let's say we have this router 1 in the network, and we have applied an access list to the router at this interface G1/0. Now, if there was an access list applied, if we want to remove this access list, what is the command to do that? The command is simply no access list and the access list itself. So no access list 127 deny TCP any equal HTTP. So let's say that there was an access list denying the HTTP or port 80. If we want to disable it or remove it, we put the command no access list, and we do this for any any access list command. So the command to remove it is no access list, and when we give the number also. Another way to do it is to go to call the interface G1/0, and then no IP access group, okay, and we give the access group number and the direction, which is inbound. All right, any questions about this? So again, the method is to give the command no access list. Second question, this one I have answered it for you. So write the access list that will permit the traffic originating from, okay, let's say that we have a subnet, okay, like this. We have a router, and we have a subnet here, and this is the subnet 172.16.36.0. If we want to permit the traffic originating from this subnet, then we will give the command access list 1 permit, and we give the subnet IP address. Okay. Don't forget, this is the wildcard mask 0.0.0.255. Okay. Next question. Is this clear? Okay, so here usually you will have a switch. Okay, next. Here we have another example on access list. Here we want to allow a host to access the network. So let's say here we have this host B. This is the IP address of host B. Okay. So let's make it smaller a little bit. Yeah. Here we have host. We go to R1. And at the interface Ethernet 0. Okay. And then we have the IP. If we do a show run, we will find this IP access group 1, and the direction is in. Okay, and it is applied to this interface. And what is the command? Access list 1 permit host. This is the host IP address. Okay, this is the command. Okay, now let us see another example. Here, as you know, we can use access list to disable telnet for security reasons. Okay, from the public, and if someone from the internet or public networks trying to access your subnet through telnet. Okay, so this is how we can do it. Let's say here we have net B. This is our public network. This is representing our public network, okay, which is net B. We want to disable telnet to net A from the public, okay. But we can allow net A to establish telnet session with net B. Okay, as we know, telnet uses port 23. Okay, so this configuration will allow all TCP traffic distant to net A for port 23 is blocked. Yani telnet is blocked and all other traffic is permitted. So here, if we go to R1 at the interface E0, IP access group is 102N, this direction, because it is coming here. Okay. Access list 102, we are denying any traffic on port 23, and then we are permitting any other traffic. So the port number 23 is for telnet. Any questions about this? Okay. Good. Next example. Here we have another example on FTP traffic. So here FTP is using port 21 and port 20 because it uses port for control and the other port for data, or we call it FTP-data. Okay, FTP data is port 20. FTP control is port 21. Okay. So here, any FTP coming sourced from the public network, which is net B, is denied. Okay. All right. So this is the command, because FTP uses port 1, 21 and 20. TCP traffic distant to port 21 and port 20 from net B is denied. Everything else is explicitly permitted. So on router 1, interface 0, okay, IP access group 102N, inbound, access list deny TCP port 21 or equal FTP, and also deny TCP any equal FTP data or port 21, 20, 21 and 20, so both of them. And then always don't forget to put the command permit IP any. Okay, so this what it will do. All right. FTP uses port 21 and port 20. TCP traffic distant to port 21 and 20 is denied, and everything else is explicitly permitted. How? By using this command. Next, syslog. Here we have an example on syslog. Let's say here we have this network, and I want you to configure syslog. Of course, and if I give you some commands, and these are the main commands that you should look for to see if they are missing or not. First of all, you need to identify your NTP server. So in this case, this is our NTP server. This is the command. Then you need to give the timestamp, service timestamp log, date time, millisecond format. Okay. Then you need also to enable the logging, and you need to identify your syslog server, which is this one. And then you need to generate the traffic. To generate the traffic only, simply you can do interface loopback and then no shutdown. All right. So you have to make sure that all these commands are there. Any questions? Okay, last but not least, of course, here if we are asked to configure VPN, let's say we have this network, and first thing you need to make sure that is there. And maybe you have some commands, but some commands are missing or not configured properly. Always you need to check that the access list command is there to identify the interesting traffic. Remember, I told you this in the class. You need to make sure that your interesting traffic. So this is my interesting traffic, يعني for VPN. Okay. So this traffic will be allowed in the VPN tunnel. So we have the access list permit. This is my first subnet. This subnet will communicate, or this LAN will communicate with this LAN. So I have access list permit IP 192.168.40.0 because this is a subnet, and we put the wildcard mask. And on the other side, we have 192.168.50.0 and wildcard mask. Crypto ISA KMP policy, this will be given to you the parameter, then encryption, maybe this, or maybe they will ask you to use triple this, then hash MD5, group 5, and exit. Where do we apply this? We apply it on interface as 0/0 of the router area. Okay, on this router. Okay, so because usually they will give you one side configured and they will ask you to configure the other side or the opposite. Okay, any questions about this? Of course, you have to study frame relay, how to create mapping, static mapping or sub interfaces, PPP, PAP and CHAP. Or if you have PAP or CHAP configured, but some commands are missing, you need to know which one are missing. Okay. Thank you.